Good evening. I'm Jim McKernan, Vice President and General Manager of KMTV, one of the Midwest's great heritage television stations, a station Howard Kennedy led for 12 years. On behalf of KMTV staff, it is our privilege to participate in this evening's induction of Howard Kennedy into the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame. No one is more deserving of this great honor than Howard. His principled leadership style, fundamental fairness with colleagues, and strong commitment to public service embodies all that is great with American broadcasting. The KMTV staff is enthused to help make this evening possible. Howard joins Floyd Kalber, Tom Brokaw, Owen Sadler, Arden Swisher, and Frank Scott as KMTV inductees into the Hall of Fame. An impressive group. No doubt he won't be the last. We wish Howard and Karen all the best in the years to come. Now, let me proudly introduce the anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News, Mr. Dan Rather.
Thanks, Jim. You know, few of us get to start and finish our careers with the same company. From the sunrise sign-ons at KGLO Radio in Mason City, Iowa, to the very last day at KMTV, Howard Kennedy gave Lee Enterprises his best. Howard, we congratulate you on your lifelong commitment to community, family, and our industry. Howard Kennedy graduated from Central High School in 1958. This is where he learned to lead, as Billy Bigelow in Carousel, in the ROTC, and as first baseman for the Central Eagles. He held the city batting record 2 years in a row. In high school, Howard auditioned for a radio DJ job. He didn't get it, but it was the start of a lifetime love of radio. Broadcasting and baseball took Howard to the University of Iowa.
I dreamed of being that, the next Vin Scully or somebody, the next Mel Allen, and doing those things. And obviously my career took a different path.
After college, Howard served 2 years in the U.S. Army. He was behind the mic broadcasting news, weather, and music to the 82nd Airborne. In 1965, Howard was hired at KGLO AM/FM radio and television in Mason City, Iowa. Doug Sherman hired Howard to be an announcer and director. He calls it the greatest break of his life. Howard made $64 a week then.
It was an opportunity that was beyond my wildest dreams. I could be a disc jockey, I could be a television director, I could run a camera. I also did a lot of air work.
Well, obviously, he had appeal. He's a handsome young man. I think he was third baseman for University of Iowa in baseball. A straight arrow-looking kind of person. And anyway, as I say, it might have been a bad day. I don't. But no, seriously, I think he had a certain charisma that I thought would fit in the business.
Sherwin taught Howard a lesson he never forgot.
Don't ever forget, Kennedy, when you're on the air, that somebody can just reach over there and go bing like this, and you go like this, bzz, bzz, bing, and you're out of there.
They turned the knob, and you went just like this, and you were a pinhead.
Howard worked at KGLO for 13 years. He was producer and host of a daily talk show, Focus. He was the voice on a children's show, Bert's Clubhouse. And every Sunday morning, Mason City viewers watched Stepping Stones, a religious program. Later, Howard left on-air work and became promotion manager, and then eventually general manager. He then went to KOIN in Portland, where he was general manager for 8 years, and then on to WSAZ in West Virginia, where he was GM for 2 years. In 1986, Lee Enterprises bought KMTV, and Howard came home to Omaha. Both KMTV and the Kennedy family had a well-known history of community service. Howard's great-grandfather, Howard Kennedy I, was the first superintendent of the Omaha Public Schools. An elementary school is named for him. Howard Kennedy II was a judge. Howard Kennedy III was an attorney. Howard Kennedy IV, the broadcaster, brought his family's spirit of service to KMTV.
I think that there is a commitment to community. There's a commitment to service, or I don't think you'd be in this business. I think that's one of the things that can be said of broadcasters. They are community-oriented people. They need to know the pulse of the community. You need to be out. You need to have a conscience, as it were, as to what's going on.
During Howard's 14 years as KMTV General Manager, the station created many programs and campaigns to address community issues. By 1989, drug gangs were recruiting young members in Omaha. Newscasts were dominated with stories about drive-by shootings, get-even murders, and gang initiation crimes. The city's north side had turned into a killing field. KMTV brought city and neighborhood leaders together for a primetime town hall meeting to look for solutions.
KM3-TV presents Town Hall, A Generation at Risk.
We all know historically what an impact television had regarding the Vietnam War. I hope that television can have an equal impact on some of the violence that we see running in our cities now.
The gangs fought their turf wars on brick buildings and garage doors. The graffiti was frightening and frustrating to the innocent victims. Omaha Mayor Dobb wanted to buy a high-tech spray and wash system, but couldn't afford the $100,000 truck. KMTV offered to raise the money, and the campaign was successful, and Kennedy gave the Omaha City Council the keys to the new graffiti van.
That's just one story of the many, many stories that can be told about Howard Kennedy and his leadership at the television station as an active participant in the profession of broadcasting and in sort of understanding what's important where any of us live, and that is that if we give back to our community, it's going to be a better place in which to live and raise our families. So he did that, and we all ought to be forever grateful for his spirit and his commitment and his willingness to get involved in helping make this place better.
Painting over graffiti is now a city service. The city still gets 100 calls for paint jobs every month. In the fall of '94, KMTV offered viewers a newscast without violent video or content that was inappropriate for family viewing. That change came after O.J. Simpson was arrested for murdering his wife. Viewers complained about graphic video of the murder scene, and KMTV responded with a family-friendly newscast at 5 o'clock. Lauren Tobia was the news director at KMTV.
Howard was a real trailblazer in this area. We knew that die-hard journalists might criticize what they perceived to be a sanitized newscast. With Howard's guidance, we found a way to tell important stories and cover the news of the day without showing body bags and blood on the streets. Those decisions seem much more common now. But Howard was willing to take the risk and do what was right for the families viewing the news together in the 5 o'clock time period. He was also so supportive during the process with the staff. Howard was the ultimate in shoe leather management, never making decisions and then walking away to leave others to carry it out. Howard was part of the process both before and after.
In 1997, a week before Halloween, Omaha was hit with a damaging ice storm. The city's landscape changed overnight when 100-year-old trees broke under the heavy ice. KMTV and the Omaha World Herald became partners in a campaign called Branching Out. The goal was to replant the city with free trees. Steve Altmans helped create Branching Out.
The TV time that we had from Channel 3 and those block parties was, that's really got it out in the community. And it helped develop a community effort, if you will. And Howard was very supportive of that, and we'll be forever indebted to him because of that.
Howard frequently appeared in newscasts with commentary on issues that affected the viewers.
The courts, once involved in local school issues, could force local districts to merge or even close in order to achieve guaranteed quality education. There's a social need in some areas, and you then have the opportunity, it seems to me, to bring those to the public's attention. And then once that happens, if you can be that catalyst, then I think the public begins to do what they do, and that is answer those questions, address those issues, secure the right conclusions.
Howard's service to the community was both on the air and off. He was on the boards of the United Way, the Urban League, the Wellness Council of the Midlands, Opera Omaha, the College World Series, and the Omaha Chamber of Commerce. In 1993, Howard was elected president of the Nebraska Broadcasters Association. He fought a proposed tax on syndicated programming licenses. He won that and thus saved Nebraska broadcasters millions of dollars. Howard was also named to the CBS Affiliates Board and served 2.5 years as chairman. The big win during Howard's term was the return of NFL football to CBS. Howard, your friends and colleagues at KM3 News and here at CBS News know you as an innovator, a negotiator, a leader, and a teacher.
I believe in this industry. I think it's here for a long, long, long time, and I think we do a lot of good. And I'm pleased to have been a part of that.